Hi everybody, how are you? It's Jay Victoria. Um, I just talked to a beautiful prospective client on a free consult. My first, I think, my first one from YouTube. So thank you so much for everybody who's listening. And if you'd like to book your own free consult, I'm still offering them. I don't know how long I'll be able to do that, but right now I am. So you can book that with the link below. And I wanted to tell you a bit about what you get with a free consult with me. So basically, we meet for half an hour because most free consults I know are like 20 minutes, but um, I find that like we need to kind of get into stuff when you talk to me because we're talking deeply about your energy and there's a lot to say. And so I basically, even before I talk to you, I will have notes about you. I will, during the call, we meet, we talk. You can tell me basically the main issue you're dealing with. I'll tell you the energetic origin of what's happening. I will draw your energy visually for you, digitally. And yeah, and I will tell you advice. I will channel for you, give messages to you. I will also tell you how I can help you and assist you with my work if you would like to work with me. And I'll give you an offer that you can think about for 24 hours if you need to. And then if you want to book it that day, I usually do an extra deal. So doing a free consult is really worth it because you get a lot of value. And if you are thinking about working with me, you'll get more details and also you will get a deal by doing the consult. So anyway, that's think everything about the consults. And I I do recordings of them too, so you got to keep all the advice. All right, so I wanted to come on right now though because I wanted to tell you guys more about my story because I feel like a lot of people have like a lot of people like a lot of like you I'm saying you who are watching, like we have these incredible purposes that we were born with, and we have these feelings like we're supposed to be doing something, or sort of like a new way of life that we're looking for. And what I love to do with my work is make the energy world and the heavenly world and all of that so practical, because the truth is it is so practical. It's part of your everyday life, and it doesn't have to be something that you fool yourself into thinking it's not part of your everyday life, right? We're in the 3D, but we're not just ever in the 3D. You know what I mean? The spiritual world and the energy world and the physical world they're one. They're deeply interconnected. And you know this, and you've seen things instantly manifest around you. You've seen uncanny things happen or someone say something. You see things develop into the 3D world that are magical and that are definitely from the spiritual world. But I think sometimes we think it's momentary. Oh, the spiritual world just showed up. The truth is the spiritual world and the energy world and the physical world, they're all interconnected. Like matter itself, they look, if you go down to the deepest level of any physical thing, it's vibrating atoms in their space, and it's like it's not even real. So that's why people say we live in an illusion, right? But the truth is we don't live in an illusion. We live in a manifestation. We live in a projection. And what we see around us is the frequencies that are in our own spirits. So that's why everybody kind of lives in their own reality, because you're literally seeing, and your ability to see clearly and what happens around you is literally determined by your own frequency, the frequency of your soul. And so that's why maintaining a healthy frequency is extremely important. It makes me laugh sometimes, like us as humans are so funny. Like we will take care of every aspect of ourselves except our energy. You know what I mean? Like we will get our eyebrows done. We will get our hair done. We will like get plastic surgery. We'll do all these things. But then when it comes to like getting our frequency cleared, we're like, I don't know. But that's like what manifests everything else. So like, EQA, Energy Queen Alchemy, the work I do is literally taking out negative frequencies so your whole frequency is positive. more positive than before. So of course you're gonna look better. Your people always comment, like they think like I get all these highlights. The truth is no, I just clear my energy, and like my hair does cool things, and people think I'm like 10 years younger than I really am. I'm 75. No, I'm kidding. But like, you know, it's an anti-aging agent, like to have clear energy. Your whole being, your whole life, your whole reality is just more high frequency. So it's like, of course we should take care of the physical world. We should brush our teeth, all those things. But you know, your frequency is creating the manifestations, your body, your like everything. So if you want a better life, like that's really a smart place to get help. And you can't expect to be housing a bunch of negative shit inside of you and have a positive life. Like, you know, you're going to always see a correlation between your life and your energy, the way you look and your energy, right? The way you think and your energy, your perspective and your energy. Like your energy, you guys, is the thing. And don't be afraid to invest there. I'm not saying every single person who works with energy is good at it, but also not every hairdresser is good at it. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, anyway. So, my story I wanted to talk a bit more about, because this whole philosophy that I just explained to you, I don't mean to be like, blah, 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 this is the way it is. But I mean, I didn't know this is the way it is. So that's why I love telling people about it and affirming things that you probably have already suspected are true. And they are. And I think that like the physical world and the energy world really need to come together here a bit more. We need to invest our money in our energy. We need to invest our time in our energy, just like we do with our bodies. We need to care about that aspect of ourselves and make it practical. And so I made EQA like a practical service. It's like getting a facial for your soul. It's like doing soul laundry. You know, it is essential. And if you want a happy, healthy life and to not be distracted by those things all the time, just get them cleared. It just makes sense, right? And yeah, so my story basically is like, I think like a lot of people out there kind of suspected these things. And I dabbled in, you know, everything, trying to figure out how to heal myself, because luckily the world couldn't heal me. And I had chronic Lyme disease for 10 years. And the medical system couldn't heal me. I tried really hard, trust me. I took all the depression medication, anxiety medication, antipsychotic medication for years. I was like, heal me, just make me feel better. I know I used to feel better than this, and I can't get back to feeling good. So like, there must be an answer. And I really honestly trusted it. I was like, you know, my whole life I had been trained to think that way. Like, oh, you have a problem, you go to a doctor. Or you have a issue, you go to somebody. And even I remember it being a little bit difficult even to start going to counseling and therapy, because it was sort of like there's a stigma around that. But I was like, you know what? I need help that bad. I'm going to go to everybody. Spent so much money and time, you know, suffering. And it's not fun to suffer. It's really, you know, it really made me into a warrior for all the things I talk about now, because I know what it's like, you guys, to be where you are if you're in a bad place. Like, I have lived it and lived it and lived it, and it's not fun. And eventually what happened was I started to turn more to God. I started to turn more to the things that maybe seemed crazy, because I couldn't get help anywhere, and all I wanted to get was help. So it was like, I don't care where it comes from at a certain point. I started going to get Reiki. I got trained in Reiki. I took ayahuasca. I was willing to do anything, and read so many books, listened to hours of, advice, Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, and, Abraham Hicks, and everyone that I think are awesome people. I just wanted to find that answer. And little did I know I was being trained to create a new answer, because what I wanted every time I went to a therapist, or every time I went to get Reiki, or, all these things, what I was really looking for was I just wanted the negative energy out of me. You know what I mean? And I wanted it out of me that day. I wanted it out of me right away. I wanted to go get a soul cleanse. I wanted to get a cleanse of my soul, like you could go to a spa and get a cleanse of your face, like a facial. I wanted, like you can take blackheads out of your skin. I wanted them to do that with my soul because I could feel like that's where the negative stuff was. And that was really hard to deal with because no matter where you go, no matter how much you shop, no matter where you travel, no matter what relationships you're in, it's like you can't get rid of it. And it's frustrating because you go to everyone you're supposed to go to and you're paying so much money, again, so much of your time, a lot of effort. And it's not that these things don't work, but like those things all do specific things for us and they're wonderful. They still are wonderful. But if you just want negative energy out of you, because it's like strangling you and it's causing tension in your body and it's causing fear and anxiety and you can't even go outside sometimes and you're stuck in your life and you're depressed and you're insecure and it's like and you just feel it in your body, you don't feel good. They don't feel good. Negative frequencies just don't feel good inside of you. They're not natural to you. It's like being sick in your soul, but there's no medicine. You just want someone to take it out. So I eventually, through a lot of trying and, a lot of things, was just given the gift of being able to see energy visually. It really developed without me even knowing what it was. And it developed directly after I prayed to the Divine Mercy, which is an image that Saint Faustina in Poland in the 1930s had Jesus appear to her, and he asked her to make an image of him, like a painting, and in it he has two rays of light coming from his chest, and one is blue and one is red, and the blue represents the water that gushed forth from his heart. When he was on the cross, they cut him open and water miraculously flowed out, pure water. And then the blood, which obviously also flowed out because he was, dying and a human or already dead at that point. And I prayed to that to get a diagnosis because I was dying from Lyme disease. And so that's also very uncomfortable. I didn't know I was dying from Lyme disease because the doctors couldn't diagnose me. So I was just told, like, you're anxious. Meanwhile, I was dying. So yeah, really not fun. And again, the origins of even disease inside of us is negative energy. So it's all connected. I really just wanted that frequency out of me really badly. And yeah, so I prayed to the Divine Mercy. I got a diagnosis right after that. And I knew that was what worked. And so it developed a lot of faith in me with that specifically, the Divine Mercy. And so I miraculously got a diagnosis so I could finally get, treatment. I could live. And I also developed the ability to see energy visually. It just happened. And I started seeing light moving around, light energy, also dark. I would start seeing that like with my eyes, not my third eye, like my eyes. And I didn't know what it was. So I just watched it for like a few years. Just like, interesting. But then I started to understand why it would do certain things. Why would it move this way or that way? What did it mean? What was it? And that developed a new journey in my life where it was like, oh, like this energy world, you could call it, around us is very interactive with the physical world. They're really one. And if we can understand what's going on energetically, we can change what's manifesting physically, right? And so I open up more and more and more to learning and observing and theorizing and understanding the whole thing, how this whole world around us functions. That's always there, but we can't all see it. And I couldn't see it with my eyes before that point in my life. But I was like, but this is there and it's always there and it's there for everyone. We should learn about this, right? So I opened up more and more to it, and God was training me, I learned basically. He was training me to understand how that whole part of life creates the physical life, and how we can have a better physical life when we work with that, and when we do certain things like have our energy cleared. And so, long story short, I understood that Jesus dissolved all the negative energy on the cross, and what we deal with now is like an illusion. It's not actually something that is a threat to us, but it's fear. It's like a shadow that is sort of clouding our judgment, clouding our natural healthy frequency, clouding our purpose, clouding our ability to see. And the crazy part is it's already been defeated. And so the whole thing now, any kind of negative energy in your life, any situation that feels negative, anything negative you're dealing with, even illness, is really just an illusion. And I know that's like a powerful statement to make, but as a disease survivor, like, I feel confident making that because I don't have Lyme disease anymore. And I also don't take treatment for it anymore. And I worked on it through what I'm talking about, clearing negative energy out, because that really is the origin of everything in the physical world, including illness, including symptoms. And clearing negative energy, working on this level, was able to free me in so many ways from physical pain I've had since my childhood, from injuries. I've healed other people of back pain. I've healed people of diseases. I've healed people of mysterious symptoms that they've had their whole lives. And it's all just a manifestation of negative energy. And negative energy is actually extremely easy to clear because, again, Jesus already dissolved all of it on the cross. That's what he did. And so we just have to, it's like when you work with someone like me, you're working with me not just for what I do in the energy world, taking out the negative energy. I dunk it in the blood of Christ and I dissolve it. That's actually how I do Energy Queen Alchemy. And the energy world, it might sound like, oh, well, you're just making that up. No, like if you think about how real the physical world is, think about how real the energy world must be, because that's the world that creates the physical world. It is more physical, the supernatural. So the energy world is an extremely physical place. That's why I can reach in people's energy, take out negativity, and literally combine it with a positive frequency like the blood of Christ, and it will dissolve. And it's easy to do that because I have the strong belief it's already been defeated. And so when you work with someone like me, you're basically working with somebody who, you're paying me for my belief, basically. You're paying me for my ability to, like, the way life has trained me to have strong enough beliefs that I can actually not manipulate, but I can maneuver things in the energy world. I can take out negative frequencies from you, just like grabbing like that, and then I can dunk it and it's gone like that. And it doesn't take a long time. And that's the thing that really blew my mind, was all the years that I had spent trying to heal, and how fast it can actually be when you go to the root of the problem, which is your energy. And again, people sometimes worry about paying me money for this, but listen, I can't even estimate how much money I spent on everything else, when what I'm telling you right now is what I really needed. I just needed it out of me, and praise be to Jesus, that's what I can do today. So this is what I do for myself when I have a problem, and this is what changed my life drastically within 6 months since I learned how to do this process. And yes, I created it. God trained me how to do it, but I feel like it was really a collaboration where he let me name it. He lets me, like, it's like he taught me, but I like put it into a format that we can understand, if that makes sense. And, yeah, that feels really joyful to me. It's like, it's a creative process. And I always felt like he loved that I am creative, and he made me creative. And so I love being creative with it. And yeah, so I'm always theorizing and advancing and creating new methods. And I teach how to do this. I have 15 students who have learned how to do this around the world. It's a teachable skill, and you can learn how to see energy visually in your own way. You can learn how to dissolve negative frequencies, like I just described, in your own way, through my program, Energy School. And if you're interested in Energy School, you can email me. My email will be in the comments. Okay, maybe I need to wrap up. But basically what I'm saying is, since I learned this whole thing that I explained and that this is possible, my life changed, because it was like I realized that negative frequencies are negative energies, right? And I learned through observing them that what these are beliefs. Negative energies are negative beliefs. So when you hear negative things in your mind, the reason why you think those is because you have a negative energy inside of you, and that is a specific negative belief. It'll be like, you can't do this, or you're not good enough. But that's a negative energy, and that could actually be removed. And who would you be without that? So whenever you hear negative beliefs, I want you to remember that they're not part of you, and they could be out of you. They're like blackheads. Like, they could be in anybody, and they're not who you really are. When you do a pore strip, you don't look at it and keep them all because you're like, that's me. No, you get rid of it. It's not you. So I realized that the things I wanted were on the other side of all those negative beliefs. And one thing that negative beliefs will try to trick you with is by saying that they're telling you the truth and they're helping you. So my dream was to move to New York and do comedy. I was living in Canada, from Canada, and I couldn't do it for 10 years because I had all those things in my mind saying, well, you can't do it because of this and this and this and this. And then I realized, like, wait, those are doubts. And doubts are fears, and fears are negative beliefs. Negative beliefs are negative energy. I was like, oh my God, none of that is true. None of it's true. And so I worked on dissolving them out of myself. And within 6 months, I moved to New York City. That was 5 years ago. I've been here ever since. I do comedy here. I made my dream come true. And of course, I wanted to share what I do with other people. So the beginning of 2020, I moved here in 2019. Beginning of 2020, I got my first client, and I was like, hopefully I can help you. And I helped her. And then that grew and grew, and I've had thousands of clients in the past 5 years with Energy Queen. I'm relatively new to YouTube, so it may seem like I just came out of nowhere to you. But I've been working really hard on this for the past 5 years on Facebook, especially. And you can add me on Facebook if you want. I'll put the link in the comments or in the description. But basically, I'm really excited because I just wanted to give you a sense of my story and also what's possible for you. And that I'm somebody who's here to help make the process faster for you. Because I really believe, like, your spirit, I just said this to the person I talked to on the consult, like, your spirit is indestructible, your purpose is indestructible, and God's love for you is indestructible. Like, indestructible. So you're going to get to where you're going. But what I do is I help you get there faster. Like, I have been through the pain of not having the help I needed for 10 years, 20 years even. Like, I know what that's like. And I know how much money you're going to spend. I know the suffering that you're going to endure. And I know that it's going to be hard. And what I want for you is for you to not be focused on all the negativity. I want you to be free from it so that you can put your focus onto the positivity. Why are you here? I don't want you to fulfill your purpose in 10 years. I want you to do it today. I don't want you to be feeling better in 20 years. I want you to feel better today. Who you're going to be in 20 years or 10 years is a different version of you. What about you at this age? Don't you deserve to thrive? So that's why I'm here. That's why I created this, and I showed up, and I'm showing up. And if you're interested in talking to me, you can book a free consult with the link below. But I wanted to share my story because I want you to know what's possible for you. I want you to know that God is here for you, and he's also working through individuals that you will encounter in this life. Like me, he didn't teach me all of this so I couldn't help people. He taught me all this so I could show up and be a voice for the truth and what's possible for you, and to lead you back to him, lead you back to your own light, lead you back to, you know who you are. So thank you so much for listening. And I'd love to talk to you on a free consult while they're still being offered. And I'm wishing you lots of love. Bye.